We do have general public comment. Dr. Davis?
Sure, we will call the first general public comment speaker at this time.
Okay, let me. Speaker Yvonne, Bess, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I'm going to try to talk fast. The last meeting, you had a packet of material regarding the Sepulveda road improvement. And in that packet was a clear and concise terms and conditions regarding the labor laws and requirements of working on public streets. I am bringing to your attention that all of those laws are in violation in regards to any of the work being done at Scientology's L. Ron Hubbard Street, and their sidewalks and the easements and the reported by the employees doing the work, the subterranean work that is underneath the sidewalk and easement, at least that far into the public area, and that work was evidenced by a half roll-off full of debris and soil. In addition, there is a noticeable crack on the two towers that are hexagon shaped at 1328, or right behind 1328 Catalina. After the recent earthquakes yesterday, they were making repairs to that. I Google searched that to see if that was pre-existing, and it does look from my eye that goes back to damage that began in 2009. And what fell off of the building looked like a previous patch, and the crack is all the way from the bottom to the top now. I'm concerned about the safety
Thank you,
of the
Yvonne.
Scientologists.
Caller Mona, you have 2 minutes to speak on general public comment.
Thank you, and I'd like to further what the first caller was talking about, because that's exactly every week I've been coming in to talk about the barricades along L. Ron Hubbard Way, north and south, to where a fire lane is non-existent. Somebody signed off on that safety plan, and we've seen from this earthquake that something happened. There's been damage to the building, and if there would have been significant injuries or a need to get a fire truck down that road, it would not be possible. And this is really silly that the Board of Public Works and the City Council and the Mayor's office is not taking this serious.
Was my fault. Sorry, caller Mona. If you can return the call, I don't see you on here anymore. We'll move on to Audit LA. You have 2 minutes.
Yes, good morning. I too am very concerned about this massive crack on their building. It is in the same, not far from the area where it was reported that there was such an exorbitant amount of water unleashed on an encampment, to where I have told you that it's sinking, the sidewalk is sinking, and now you have a crack. Even though it's getting worse since this earthquake, or is it from the water, or is it from the underground, construction they're doing? And I can't find permits for any of it. I don't see any sign off or anything where any city personnel is involved with these processes. And I've been coming here begging you. This is not about whether or not Scientology has a right to be there. Of course they do. But they do not have a right to break the law or codes. And why aren't you listening? I mean, like, I don't get it. I'm at the point now where I'm ready to see if the media is willing to listen. I'm going to city council. I'm seeing if, they don't seem to be listening. I'm willing to go to the federal agencies at this point to see if they will listen. Because if that tower, if that breaks down, it could have a serious, a collapse of a building, of a 4-story building. And you have a whole street that is blocked and blockaded because you guys just refuse to enforce the law. It's not, you're not creating new laws. You just have to enforce your own permits. The own permits that you guys give out, it has the rules, okay? And you are willingly overlooking those rules for Scientology. And I would love to know why. I want to know why you're overlooking it for them at the detriment of their own people. It's their people that will get, that's going to get harmed. If that crack goes to a collapse.
Thank you, Audit LA. Mona, you have 65 seconds to continue.
Thank you. I'm not too sure where I got cut off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not too sure where I was at, but I was talking about the safety, about the blockaded road on L. Ron Hubbard Way, and how the city attorneys, the Board of Public Works, and the city council, the mayor's office really needs to have an eye on this, because somebody's going to be hurt if something happens. And you guys just aren't listening. We're tired of coming to you. And there's one way to get rid of us. Listen.
Thank you, and we will proceed to item 1 on the board agenda. Revised Task Order Solicitation TOS number 75, Geosyntec Consultants Incorporated, recommending the board, 1, authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of the task for TOS number 75 to Geosyntec Consultants Incorporated, increasing the budget authority from $542,296 to $765,296, including contingency for pre-design, design, bid, and award support and design services during construction of the East 6th Street Green Infrastructure Corridor Project, WOS 33 WE6GC C129657. With that, we have Nick Tran. Do we have we'll do public comments?
2 public comments, Dr. Davis. Would you like to take those first, or?
Well, let's do it first.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick, for holding.
Caller under Audit LA. This is item number 1. You have 2 minutes.
Commissioner, I was so hopeful that you were going to allow him to speak first and let us do public comment after, because
We
it's
can do
much
that. That doesn't
more
matter.
helpful. I am on topic because I'm talking about this person and this agenda item. It's just saying, as a public person, it's really more helpful if we could hear what they have to say in case they answer our questions or concerns, or we have additional questions or concerns that we can bring up. It's really prudent. So please, whoever, if you're going to be in charge now, please do it that way. That being said, I am against raising this amount of money. Now, if I didn't have the ability to go through 3,000 pages of your packet overnight, I hope you all have. I hope you have read each and every one of those 3,000 pages in your packet. So I am not as educated on this as you are. But my concern is, just as a tax-paying resident, that we have enough, like, people need to live within their budgets. And so does government. And so do developers and whoever's coming before your board. We need to learn how to live within the budgets. The people are told this is how much it's going to cost. But then they come and like, oh, little bit, oh, we need this more. We need more. We need more. So whatever we start at and we agree at, it ends up being way higher. And that's got to stop. The fleecing of the city resources, of the taxpayer resources, needs to stop. Now, that on Wednesday, you guys forgave a $9,000 fine. That money could have paid for this. So I would say suggest, if you, because I know you're going to rubber stamp this and just give it to them, but I wish you would take off at least that $9,000, because that money should have come into the city to help pay for any increases. And we just, as the people, we're just tired of the waste, tired of the backdoor, these increases. And I'm not saying that this gentleman's doing anything wrong. It may be, in his mind, a
Thank
legitimate
you.
need.
Is that the only public?
Caller Yvonne Bess, you have 2 minutes to speak on item number 1.
I won't run out on this one. I would like to acknowledge that the disposal for animal waste or pet waste is included in the planning of this. I do read the entire packet. My concern is that humans have the same problem. Your designs do not include any sort of human facilities so that people are not defecating and urinating on the streets. Please include these designs in future planning. Thank you.
We have no speakers for item number 2, Dr.
Sure.
Davis.
Thank you. Item number 2, requests for authority, execute letter of agreement between the City of Los Angeles and Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, recommending the board, 1, authorize the Bureau of Street Services to execute the LOA with Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority for an amount not to exceed $218,200 for the reimbursement to construct 2 bus pads. And 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the LOA.
Dr. Davis, before you do a motion, I apologize that there is one public speaker.
Sure. We can proceed with the public speaker.
Okay. Audit LA, you have 2 minutes to speak on item number 2.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. I was getting concerned there. I am all for fixing the Van Nuys bus benches. I use that stop often. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that, like, it's confusing as to who's paying and who's receiving the money. But so I am just asking that, like I always am asking, that you guys just really scrutinize to make sure everything is done correctly, make sure everything is executed correctly, make sure everything's in the best interest of the taxpayers. There needs to be a lot of work done, on the bus lines and the metro, and and I'm all for seeing the city and the county come together. But my concern here is that, the county or metro, trying to get the best of, or the city, and, and getting what they want at our expense. And that's where you guys are the brains that understand all these things. This is your purview. So obviously I have to defer to you, but I am just here to remind you that you serve the city, and that you please make sure that the city, their interest and our interest is first and foremost in your minds. Yes, we are residents of the county per se, but this is the city and this is our funds going to all this stuff. So I am just asking you to be very diligent and very mindful. And thank you, for the previous, where you start asking questions. I love that. I hope to see more of that with new leadership here. Please continue to asking the questions. And thank you for, in a way, it was great that I get to speak after they speak, because it was really helpful, because the speaker did answer some of my, some things that I was
Thank you,
questioning.
Audit LA.
Okay, thank you. Item number 3, contract amendment number 1, 26 pre-qualified on-call civil engineering services contracts. Recommending the board, 1, approve and forward this report with transmittals to the mayor and city council requesting the following. A, approve amendment number 1, increasing the total contract term from 5 years up to 10 years to each of the contracts between the City of Los Angeles and the following 26 pre-qualified on-call civil engineering services contracts.
We have speakers on,
Sure.
I'm sorry, not speakers.
Yes.
Public comment,
Public
thank you.
comment. They are still
3 public
speakers.
comment. When you're ready, Dr. Davis.
Yes, we are ready. We're ready for the public comment on the item.
Speaker under Mona, you're welcome to speak on this item. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. First of all, commending you for having the speaker first and the questions first, because you know what? You answered 99.9% of my questions in my public comment. Thank you for having the 5-year extension to the contracts. That would be a wonderful thing. My question was, is there a way for a WBE, a DBE, or a DV business to be included in the next 5 years, or is this a closed list? So thank you for letting me know that there is an inclusion process for that. And that really was my question. So thank you very much. I concede back my time.
Another speaker, Audit LA, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, I love I just want to say thank you, sir. I'm kind of like speechless, as you can tell, which doesn't happen often. First of all, you read this agenda item into the record first. Then you had the presenter speak. Then you're taking public comment. As a parliamentarian, Robert's Rules enthusiast, I salute you. Thank you. I digress a little bit from the previous speaker. I am not for extending the contracts, but I thank you, sir, again for asking questions, for drawing out the information that was lacking previously. I'm having hope now for Public Works Commission. I hope you stick around because I'm liking what I'm seeing. And I'm against it because I understand that you're saying there's ways you could do this and ways you get to do that. But really at the end of the day, it's really hard to get rid of bad players. Like the civil service. Once you're civil, you have that civil service qualification. It's really hard to undo that and to get rid of or any kind of union thing. So we know just from history that it's hard to do that. So my suggestion is just to keep it at 5. It doesn't hurt in 5 years to redo it and make sure that they've done everything that they're supposed to do for the wonderful residents of this city. I don't see any valid reason to increase it. That's just my opinion. And, and I also want to encourage about, because you said in the other one where the veterans and the disabled, like they're really under the number where they're supposed to be. And I'm not saying that that's your fault. Maybe there's just not enough businesses in the mix. But I would really like to see a campaign for you guys to get that number up, especially
Thank
since
you.
they're.
Caller under Yvonne Best, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I too enjoy this format a little bit better. I would like to kind of hit a middle ground and say go ahead and extend it to a 10-year with provision of proper oversight, and people, even though they have a 10-year qualification, can lose that qualification if they're in violation. I also believe that a new firm that meets the qualifications in that 10-year cycle should be added for the remaining years of that cycle, so that there are more opportunities for input in the projects, and competition is a good thing. I also want to conclude with 28 civil engineering firms to service the entire city of Los Angeles seems to be a horribly low number. I encourage the outreach and adding to that list, probably doubling it. Responding to an emergency with only 28 people on that list is not a feasible thing. So please consider the recruitment of additional people on that list as a priority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your report. I appreciate it. Thank you, Superintendent. Have we,
We do have public comment on this one.
okay, thank you.
Audit LA, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, I just want to thank you for making the report. I have nothing to say for or against, but I just want to reiterate, I appreciate you reading the agenda items first, followed by the speaker, followed by public comment. I really hope that this is going to be a new era where this will go on, because it does help answer, like when I hear him and any of your speakers, it helps answer the questions we have. So why waste our 2 minutes, why, on something that we don't need to ask? Because all we needed to do was just hear it from the people. So it's just an encouragement. Thank you, sir, for your, for the presentation, but thank you, sir, for doing it differently today. I have hope. I feel like you're genuinely trying to connect with the public today, and that's a good feeling, because I'll be honest with you, it's felt really horrible for the past month. And I also want to thank Ms. Cole for having been very interactive and helpful, with responding to emails and helping me try to figure out who's who. And I'm also still requesting, it is relevant to this agenda item, that you please let us know when there is a new disability coordinator for the city. It's really important, because a lot of what I'm going to be bringing up and other people are bringing up are ADA issues. It's a real serious issue. And I also thank you for the different tone, that you're not just cutting off speakers at every turn before hearing them out. So I really hope you say, sir, at this point, I'm really pleased with this, with how things are turning around. And I thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.